Live from New York, Buffalo, New York. Shawn P. Greene on the Shawn P. Greene Show. I'm excited to be back today. No real guests lined up. I do have one person that was thinking on standby today. Let's see where we're at. Nope. I haven't had confirmation yet on my special possible guest today. All I can do is just make a couple phone calls and see what's up. Plug in my phone, make sure we're fully charged. Yeah, we got a lot of charged phones here. All right, so if you want to call in, ShawnPGreene.com. You can go to the website. Let's just get all the tickers going. Here's a phone number. Call, text, live here on YouTube, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And we'll post the link on YouTube. But you go to the ShawnPGreene.com/podcast if you want to watch some of the old episodes. YouTube playlist there. Go to my Facebook page on the Shawn P. Greene Show. We also have PayPal. You can email me at that same email, ShawnPG716@gmail.com. And you can check me out, man. And Cash App, you want to donate, come on. Hook me up. Hook a brother up, as they say. I still haven't explored this yet, but I might be going American Truck Simulator. Maybe. So, I got sad news today. As of Wednesday, when I have Constant Battle here, we looked at my Twitter account and his Twitter account, and we had compared our followers, and I didn't realize he had more followers than I did until looking at it. He had like 1,400, and I had like 1,200-ish. And I went from 1,234, 1,234 followers Wednesday down to 1,230 yesterday. But somehow I gained 2 more back. So yes, thank you for following me on Instagram for those who have this app. So check it out. I lost followers. Where did you guys go? What happened? What did I do to those 4 people? Did I offend you? I'm so sorry. But I also got an Instagram. On top of that, I have a Twitter, a Twitch, and a TikTok, a Facebook, all for this show. And it's not telling me who started following me differently today. I got a couple new likes from Wednesday's Instagram post, which was really a highlight of Paula's Donuts' new location in Buffalo. I'm just checking it out live here with you. What kind of thing was going on? Oh yeah, I told him I lost 4 followers since yesterday. I told Constant Battle. I said gained 2 today somehow. I keep it posted. All right, so I think he's on live. It's Constant Battle. Let's see where he's at. You know, the Constant Battle, Shawn P. Greene 1428 he's at right now. If you look at his Instagram, 1428. He's not live yet. He usually goes live on Mondays and Fridays. He's not live today. So anyways, I'm going to keep you posted on the Shawn P. Greene and Constant Battle 1 Instagram followers update. So keep it locked for the suspenseful. Let's see what we got here. Phil Davis Jr., who I worked for as a actor. he did a stage play called Destiny of Rose with the father of Simone, Raven Simone. His name is Christopher Pierman. Christopher Pierman and Phil Davis did a play together called Destiny of Rose, and I played in it, and I was very honored to have done that. However, I haven't seen or heard much of him in a while as far as projects, but he's always got some kind of skits going on. So today's highlight on Instagram, Phil Davis Sr., Phil Davis Sr., because he's got a son that's a junior. Phil Davis _SR if you want to follow him. Let's get his Instagrams up. He's at 329 followers. So holler at your Phil Davis Sr. Let's give him a shout out on. Let's see what he's got here. He got a new post today. It's a TikTok.
I know y'all been hitting me up. Yo, Kaylee, what you think about fighting speed, dog? What you give it? Get that joint an S, man. Same old. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. What?
Same old.
Me.
With an accent, dog.
Right.
Yo. Did you see Nancy Pelosi? Yo, was that new dance move she trying to start? Yo, they probably gonna have that on TikTok real quick. She was trying to clap, I guess, but she's so old, like I don't know if her mind didn't connect with her body, so her fists kind of like got stuck together. And then she like shimmied back in her chair. I was like, yo, what the heck is she doing back there? And it was so weird when she did it. This is the time Biden was talking about, you know, people that died in Iraq and his son and all that. And then, yo, what's goody?
All right, so
Mac Daddy in the building.
There he is. So he's doing a little commentary on little commentary right there. Phil Davis Sr. Check his Instagram out. He's got some funny stuff up there, man. So check him out. Like I said, he's a producer, writer, director, actor himself. Look at this little goofy skit he did. You gotta look him out, man. He's hilarious. Buffalo, bred, born. I believe he was born. I'm gonna have him as a guest on one day. I think that would be awesome because I'm really a fan of his content. So if you get a chance, check him out. But really, the real issue today: constant battle versus Shawn P. Greene, Instagram followers. Right now, he's leading. So we're going to have to update you on that as time progresses. All right, so what else is new in Shawn P. Greene's world? Not much. Yesterday was an absolutely great show. If you guys didn't see or hear, I do have it loaded up. You can go to the Mixcloud if you wanted to watch it to it or listen to it exclusively online. I got it on Mixcloud, which is a audio platform for television or for it really is it was designed for music mixes by DJs or radio shows and all that, but it's also a platform for audio podcasts. And so if you go to mixcloud.com, you can see, go to ShawnPGreene.com, you'll find a link for my Mixcloud. But I loaded up all my Shawn P. Greene shows since February 16th. Plus, I have a couple, I would say, pilot shows of a podcast that myself and Pastor Mark from the Bread of Life Church, we put together. We call it the Untitled Unlimited Podcast. We only did 2 episodes. So that's that. And I did a pilot show, Christian Filmmaking with Shawn Greene. And, you know, Spice Rack Show was just kind of like one of those things that I did back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. I don't even know when I did that show. Late 2000s. I I was doing a podcast called The Spice Rack Show, and of course we did the shout out, and we did a couple other things. So check out if you want to check out some of those shows on Mixcloud. Video streaming, we got it on Twitch, and we got it on Twitter. I'll just show you guys how it looks. Look at this picture of me. I don't know. This is from one of the VHS videos that's coming up in a second. It's buffering. That's what happens when you got a lot of video content kind of playing in the background. Let's close out my Instagram. It might help a little bit. Look, you see double. Watch. Alright, my hands are moving. I don't know why Twitch doesn't want to play it on the platform that is playing. Watch this. Watch, my head will bob back and forth. On this particular one with that in the background, I won't do it. So anyways, you get the idea. I have Twitch and Twitter, and look at it. It's like an infinite screening of it. Hang on. Looking at my... Okay. Look, it's infinite. If you're watching this right now, you'll see that it's infinitely buffering. Wow, look at that. That is crazy looking. Watch, I'll do it again. This is live. Look at that. Wow. And then you'll see my hands will go up again later in the other showing of it. Pretty trippy, guys. Look at that. That's so funny looking. All right, so that's kind of crazy looking. I'm gonna try to get out of this somehow. Gotta find my mouse. There it is. Okay. Bye. And then you'll see that infinitely on my screen later. Okay. Okay. Again, I got a Vimeo, but I don't have this live, and I don't upload my show on this, which I might. There's two different ones. I have DI Media and I have Shawn P. Greene. DI Media is more for my official projects, and then I have YouTube, of course, which has all my VHS, not all, but the most recent VHS videos that I've uploaded. I got projects, I got podcasts, which includes this show. I got other playlists, shorts, other uploads, and of course, the number 2 or 3 best, depends on how you relate it, rendition of the national anthem by Luther Vandross, amongst other things. And I can't believe second all time of the best videos watched is this accent tag Bronx versus Buffalo, where it has Rosemary and my dad giving their accents in my garage. Then we have an old TV Alex Trebek video. USS Ranger was the ship I was on, and this kind of like a yearbook that we did right after the Gulf War. They compiled all that. Obama kicks a door in, and then my visit to Sherwood Baptist Church. So we have other channels that I am associated with in one way or another. Great Lakes Christian Film Festival, obviously, is the festival that I am the executive director of. Flavor Radio Network is this is the radio network I created in 2004. Buffalo Shoutout is a podcast. DI Media is the production / distribution company that we will be launching. And Gabby Malloy is my nickname for my daughter. But we have the Fudge and Wowo updates on that. And then Bread of Life Church is the church I attend. And so I encourage everybody here to go to ShawnPGreene.com, click the YouTube link, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and all my featured channels on the bottom. Subscribe to every one of them so you can get content that you'll enjoy for the rest of your life. So here is the live right now for those people who might click on my YouTube page while I'm live. All my subscribers, you'll get that notification. All right, what else is next? I'm gonna move this over here because I'm gonna do a couple things with it maybe later. And then I have Spreaker. iHeart now runs it. SoundCloud does another audio platform. I'll scroll it in a little bit more for people who can't see. So there you go. That's TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. Tumblr is going to be reworked. MySpace, which I'll probably never do anything with the rest of my life, but it's just there. It's a placeholder, just to say I have one. Facebook, Parler, Gab, and Getter. Not Get Her Done, but Getter. Getter. And then please, PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, Venmo, support your boy Shawn P. Greene. All right, so that's that. That's my page. That's all my internets. So if you guys got any questions, come to Facebook. You can always instant message me. Go to the podcast, watch what's going on. Okay, call and comment. That's really what the point is for this whole thing. Call and comment. I am not hooked up yet with it, but I'm going to make sure I have it on there. If you got a message, if you want to be a part of the show, if you want to call in, you want to, just comment on any content that you've seen or heard so far. Just call 716-253-1870. And it's not... Actually, let's see what happened during 1870. It's not like code for like a special event that happened in this world during that time. But hey, let's go to 1870 history. See what happened. You and me live. How's that? I got a special event going to next weekend down in Florida. My niece is getting married. My niece Amanda and her lovely fiance Tyson will be getting married. So that's going to be exciting. See what Wikipedia has to say about 1870. We're going to celebrate women for March. Excellent. So 1870 was a common year starting on the Saturday of Gregorian calendar. Now, mind you, here in the West, especially the U.S., we live off the Gregorian calendar. But there are several other calendars in the world, and I recognize that, but a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't realize the different types of calendars there are. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit today, but let's just see what happened during the 1870s, back in the day in history. I'm going to play a different background music called Feeding the Ducks. We've been listening to like the rock bed for the morning opening and closing. But while we're reading 1870 history, Feeding the Ducks. It's a random number, but it's part of my telephone number. That's why I'm selecting it. So what happened in 1870? Let's see. Common Era. Okay, that's a type of description of before Common Era. Is a type of description people are using instead of AD, which was mostly a Christian terminology. Latin. Anno Domini, meaning the year of our Lord. So Julian and Gregorian calendars use. Okay, let's keep going here. As of the start of 1870, the Gregorian calendar was 12 days ahead of the Julian calendar, which remained in localized use until 1923. That's just recent. That's almost 100 years ago that the Gregorian calendar had any changes to it. Wow. Interesting fact. Let's see. Events in the history, 1870. Excuse me. I'm a little tired this morning. The construction of the Brooklyn Bridge began. Wow, I didn't realize the Brooklyn Bridge was that old. January 3rd, 1870. Okay, so that's 152 years ago. 152 years ago. Let's see. Vienna inaugurated Austria-Hungary. So, what is that? Muscovarian, a concert hall, in January 6th, was inaugurated in Austria-Hungary in Vienna. Okay. Muscovarian, okay. Rockefeller incorporates Standard Oil. How about that? 1870. It's a big year. Pretty cool choice of a phone number then. Political cartoon for the first time symbolized the U.S. Democratic Party with a donkey. Ha! Look at all this knowledge we're gaining today. So, January 15th, 152 years ago, the donkey became the first symbol of the Democratic Party in a cartoon. First time ever. Huh, that's interesting. It was by Thomas Nast of Harper's Weekly. Wow. Who would have thought it? Who would have thunk it? D is for donkey. All right. What else happened in January? U.S. soldiers attack a peaceful camp of Beguine Blackfeet Indians led by Chief Heavy Runner. North Great Plains. Kind of a sad moment in history. You know, you ever notice that the word massacre, for up until I say recent history, when describing conflicts between Native Americans and U.S. or, colonials, if you will, different conflicts were noted, like the U.S. were, military raids or military campaigns or battles, and then anything that's if they won, and then if a Native American tribe or something or nation, they won, they call that a massacre. But this is called the massacre of the Blackfeet, which is like I said, more recent history. People are calling it massacres even by U.S. troops. So interesting. January 23rd. 3 days later, in Virginia, rejoins the Union. Reconstruction era. All right, so let's go back 1865, 1868, something like that. I think that's, or 61 to 68. I'm sorry, here it is. 1861 to 1865 is when officially the American Civil War occurred. And of course, they had battles before and after. And even to this day, they've had conflicts, amongst people who are prejudiced and so on. I'm not getting to that. But January 6th, Reconstruction era, 1870, Virginia comes. The Commonwealth of Virginia returns to the Union, which is the original 13 colonies that turned into the United States 1 to the 13. And they adopt a new constitution. Curtis Underwood. How about that? What else happened? 2 days later, SS City of Boston departs Halifax, Nova Scotia on a transatlantic passage on which it will be lost with all 191 aboard. That's terrible news. February. Oh, here's a quiz question. Which is longer, February or January? February, because it has one extra letter in it. So we didn't say how many days longer did it have. It just says which is longer, the February or January. February, one extra letter. Okay. Fun fact. Okay, I don't know who this guy is. Let's get educated today, guys. Dennis Vrain Lucas is sentenced to 2 years in prison for multiple forgery in Paris. Okay. Another thing, February 1st, Goodna State School, or Goodna, Queensland, Australia, is founded. I don't know the significance of that. It's a suburb of somewhere in Australia. Okay. Okay. Interesting fact. What else is interesting? Anybody else want to? I don't know half of these topics, so I don't know what's interesting to you. But let's just continue. We're looking at the history from 1870 and why are we picking 1870? It's the last 4 numbers of my telephone number. So give me a call if you want to comment or what have you. The Seven Brothers. Okay, it's a novel that was released. 15th Amendment. That is significant for the United States. The 15th Amendment of the United States, guaranteeing African American men the right to vote, is passed. Why that's not in Black History Month, I don't know. But it is in February 3rd. 15th Amendment was passed. Very significant. U.S. Army Weather Bureau is created within the Army Signal Corps. February 9th, 1870. What else? Anaheim, California is incorporated. Now, those of you out in California, you know that Anaheim is a big town in Orange County, big city in Orange County now. It also houses, I believe, the Anaheim Ducks, which took their name from, like, the Mighty Ducks, the movie, which is a Disney movie, which Disney has a Disneyland in Anaheim. So Orange County has kind of been given a big, huge opportunity to grow through the incorporation of Anaheim before Disney even landed there. February 10th, 1870. February, 2 days later, women's suffrage. Okay, women gained the right to vote in Utah, February 12th. Okay, a week and a half later, February 23rd, military control of Mississippi ends and is readmitted to the Union. Another state that comes back after the Civil War. All right, so there's a lot of history. You can go to this at any time and look this up. Bulgaria, Mitsubishi Company is established in Japan as a shipping firm. March 1870. Battle in Paraguay. Cerro Cora in Paraguay. Okay. Red River Rebellion. Thomas Scott is executed. First ever international football match. Okay, this is soccer. Okay, let's get this straight. First ever international association football match, England versus Scotland, takes place under the auspices at the Oval. Okay, Kia Oval. I'm assuming it's in London. Okay, so that's interesting. 1870, first international association football match, England versus Scotland. March 10th, Deutsche Bank is founded in Berlin. March 10th. So if anybody's got a time machine, you want to stop the rise of fascism and the rise of Hitler, maybe you go back in time to March 10th when Deutsche Bank was to be founded, and stop any kind of funding for that movement. All right. Female Infanticide Prevention Act passed in Britain, or in British India, March 18th. I don't know what that is. Let's look this up real quick. Female infanticide. I'm assuming abortion. Is that what it means? Oh, okay. Never mind. It's actually more specific. Legislative act passed in British India to prevent murder of female infants specifically. The Section 7 of the act declares that it was initially applicable only to the territories listed here. So apparently there was an issue with the killing of female babies in India, British India, 1870. They had to pass a bill to prevent it. Wow. Okay. March 19th, Ohio legislature passed the Cannon Act dealing with agriculture and mechanical college. Okay. Oh, here's a big, regionally, this is for us here in Western New York. Syracuse University is established March 24th, 1870. Lima, New York, Methodist Church, I guess, Episcopal Church was founded it. Lima is actually closer to us than Syracuse, but they're the ones that founded it. Interesting piece of history. March 30th, that same 15th Amendment we were talking about, giving African American men right to vote, is ratified, further correcting history in America. Reconstruction, Texas is readmitted to the Union. March 30th, 1870. So a lot of significant actions. Thomas Mundy Peterson, the first African American to vote in an election. How about that? March 31st. Thomas Mundy Peterson of Perth Amboy, New Jersey, has been claimed to be the first African American to vote in an election under the just enacted provisions of the 15th Amendment to the United States Constitution. Now, question, anybody heard that during Black History Month? Thomas Mundy Peterson. Because I've just discovered it today. All right, so there's a lot of history to look at. Chicago Baseball Club, later known as the Chicago White Stockings, and ultimately the Chicago Cubs, play their first game against the St. Louis Unions of the National Association of Baseball Players, an amateur league, 1870, April 29th. How about that? Chicago White Stockings. They became the Cubs. Later, Chicago White Sox came about, probably an homage to the White Stockings name. Okay, interesting. Man, there's a lot of stuff that happened in 1870. Pretty interesting number for my telephone. Give me a call if you want to call, want to talk. Let me see if Papa Bear is available real quick while I'm here, because I did ask him if he wanted to join the call, and I don't see his reply. No. No reply. So he might be on. He could be on a. I'm gonna call him anyways. Let's just see where he's at. Stand by. Let's see if he's available. It's 10:38 Eastern Standard Time, Buffalo Standard Time. Richard Wagner. Ulysses S. Grant signs an act making the United States Independence Day. Wow, June 28th.
3, 5, 2, 4, 4.
All right, he's not available. He might call back. All right, so let's look at this interesting little snippet. 1870. American President U.S. Grant, who's also a Civil War general, successful one if not the top general of the entire Union, signed an act making the United States Independence Day a federal holiday, which would be a few days later, July 4th, which was 1776 originally, but it became a federal holiday. It wasn't a federal holiday until 1870. Who knew? Who knew that this is part of history? Incredible. He also gave Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day all federal holidays on top of that. Not just Independence Day. June 28th, 1870. There's a lot that happened during this year. What else? What else happened? What is this? July 14th, Ames Dispatch is published. Okay. Serving the casus belli for a war between Prussia and France. What's Prussia? You know, a lot of people seen Prussia or even heard talks about what Prussia was. It's predominantly the German state back in the day, coast of the Baltic Sea. Okay. Reconstruction era, Georgia becomes the last former Confederate state of America to be readmitted to the Union. 1870, July 15th. The Confederate state of America was a breakaway republic in North America that existed for 4 years. States that declared secession from the original United States, or the Union as they called it. Interesting. All right, so what else we got going on here? What else happened? Pope Pius IX declares Papal Infallibility. In my opinion, that's where it went wrong. That's where Catholicism in general went wrong. There's no infallibility with any human being on this planet, save the historical Jesus of Nazareth, also known as the Christ, also known as, to the Christians, the Son of the living God. Not to the Judeos, Muslim, Islamicists, Hindi, all that. Christians, we regard Christ as the Son of the living God. But Pope Pius IX in 1870, July of 18, declares papal infallibility in the matters of faith and morals. I don't know about that. It states that in the virtue of the promise of Jesus to Peter, the Pope, when he speaks ex cathedra, is preserved from the possibility of an error on doctrine initially given to the apostle church and handed down in scripture and tradition, so on and so forth. Okay. It's in virtue of the promise of Jesus to Peter. And I'm going to get hate on this, maybe we'll get some commentary on this from other people. Go ahead, text, call on that phone right there. You can leave a message on my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. But the promise of Jesus to Peter, it wasn't really a promise, it was a statement. You know what I mean? Like it was a statement. It was saying, upon this rock I will build my church. A lot of people interpreted that over the years, because Jesus changed Simon's name to, Peter, Simon Peter. Okay, people might call him. Jesus changed his name to Peter, which is Petra, which means rock. People misinterpreted what Emmanuel, God with us, said to Simon Bar Jesus, I think was in Bar-Jonah. I'm sorry, Simon Bar-Jonah, maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong. When Jesus said, "Upon this rock I will build my church," you have to back it up. Okay, the script. What Jesus says, "Who do you say I am?" Peter says, "You are Jesus, the Christ, the Son of the living God." Jesus says, "Upon this rock I will build my church." Okay. He said, among other things. But the rock he's talking about was the truth of what he spoke. The Rhema word that was spoken of Peter. Not Peter himself, which people put Peter's bones now under the Vatican, saying, "Hey, my church is built on Peter." No, the church wasn't built on Peter. The church was built on the truth of what he was saying about who Jesus was. Jesus is the rock, not Peter. So, send me your hate mail, whatever you want to do. I don't care. Back to 1870, okay, which is the last four digits of my telephone number, 716-253-1870. Call or text your comments. But we're just kind of randomly today going through 1870 because of the last four digits of that phone number. What's happened in the history, okay? And we'll get through this, and that's about it. Just historical events. What else? What else happened? Anything significant? Baseball. Charles Dickens. Oh, Dickens. No. English. June 9th, 1870. Charles Dickens dies. And we have a lot of stories from Charles Dickens, of course. A lot of movies made out of it. A lot of books created from it. Other stories, whatever, cartoons. Significant English novelist that's impacted Western civilization, theater, and entertainment. All right, here's something I've never seen before. Eastern European priests and nuns. Okay, the Tianjin Massacre, or Tianjin Massacre, of 17 foreigners, mostly European Christian priests and nuns, and 40 Chinese people who had converted to Christianity, takes place in China when an angry mob attacks churches established in the city. June 21st, 1870 okay, where was it? Christian missionaries and converts in the late 19th century during the late, I would say, Jing dynasty, or Qin dynasty. I don't know how you pronounce the Q without the U. Qin dynasty, maybe. 60 people died in an attack on a French Catholic priests and nuns, plus some Chinese people. That was an intense belligerence from French diplomats and armed foreign intervention on this. It's an interesting story. I'd like to explore that someday. Okay, what else? We got officer. Let's see, what is this? Office of Solicitor General to supervise and conduct government litigation on the United States Supreme Court. Okay, Solicitor General, fourth highest ranking official in the United States. Didn't even realize that. And Elizabeth Prelogar has been serving on the role since October 28, 2021. Solicitor General. That's number 4. That's number 4 ranked in the United States. Didn't even realize that. I don't even know the hierarchy of all of them. I think the first 3 I did know. President, Vice President, Speaker of the House. I think that's the order it goes as far as the hierarchy in terms of if something happens to the other in power, at the time. So I knew the vice president is there to establish as the person that takes over as president if something does happen, like it has happened. Assassinations, deaths, what else happened? Nixon being impeached and resigning. When something like that happens, the vice president is second in command that steps up and becomes president. Something happens to the vice president, the Speaker of the House becomes president or interim president till elections. But the Solicitor General is actually the 4th in charge, 4th highest ranking official in the United States, overseeing the Supreme Court. They supervise and conduct government litigation in the Supreme Court. So they're actually one of the Supreme Court justices. Okay. Same day, same year, U.S. Congress creates the United States Department of Justice. How about that? DOJ. Nobody mentioned that before. There's a lot that happened in 1870. It's incredible. Richard Wagner. Opera Die Weltkrieg is first performed at Munich's National Theater. Okay, is that significant? I don't know. All right, and we already established what Grant did. All right, let's go back to July. Georgia comes back. Franco-Prussian War. France declares war on Prussia. There's been bad blood between France and Prussia/Germany for years. For centuries. I mean, we can go back 1,000, 2,000 years even between these two areas. Some of them might have considered parts of Germany to be part of the barbarian era peoples, and Franco or France being the Gauls. Actually, even the Celts were a part of that land back in the day before landing in UK as their mainstay. So the Celts were also Celts and the Gauls were part of France at one point. There's always been bad blood between those European countries in all of their history. So, but 1870 is when the Franco-Prussian War broke out, July 19th. So, oh well. What else? Diggers Republic. I never heard of it. It's proclaimed in South Africa by diamond miners, by Stafford Parker as president. An area of South Africa. Okay, they call this Diggers Republic. I guess in air quotes, maybe. I don't know. Griqualand West is an area of central South Africa, an area of 400,000 square kilometers that now forms part of Northern Cape Province. It inhabited by the Griqua people, a semi-nomadic Afrikaans-speaking nation of mixed race origin who established several states outside the expanding frontier of the Cape. So they call this Diggers Republic. Beginning of 1870, July 30th, proclaimed by this Stafford Parker. One thing about the continent of Africa, which has many nations in it, it is rich in resources. Considered, possibly the beginning of civilization as in itself, and it's rich in resources, which is why the Republic of China today has vested so much time and energy in going to Africa to gain access to all these resources. Because what's going on right now? Technology. And technology is made of resources and materials that grows in places like Africa, or is sedimentary rocks, minerals, materials, metals, whatever that people need for their production of whatever they're making. So that's what's happening, man. And September 2nd, Prussian forces defeat the French armies, take Napoleon III and 100,000 of his soldiers prisoner at Sedan, France. How about that? Napoleon III was president of France from 1840 to 1852, and then he declared himself the emperor from 1852 to 1870 when it was captured. A nephew of Napoleon I, he was the last monarch to rule over France, elected the presidency of the Second Republic in 1848. He seized power by force in 1851. Napoleon III, first president of France. See, sometimes that's what will happen. Some of these people in power, they become president, and then they want ultimate power, and they end up seizing, the government and declare themselves emperor, which happened in Japan. It's happened in China. It's happened in many countries in Europe. It's happened even in kingdom monarch type style in many other countries within Africa. You name it. People start getting a big head when they get power, and they think they can do whatever they want. So what happened in Laramie, Wyoming, September 6th? Louisa Swain, the first woman in the United States to vote in a general election. What a significant year. First African-American man to vote. Now a first woman in a general election to vote in Laramie, Wyoming. And look at her. Look at this picture. She does not look Caucasian. She doesn't look like she's Caucasian. I could be completely wrong. But she does not look like she came from a European country originally. You be the judge. Becomes the first woman in the United States to vote legally since 1807. Wow, that's a long stretch. Almost 60 years. 50 years plus. Cool. All right. September 18th, 1870. Old Faithful Geyser is observed and named by Henry D. Washburn during the Washburn-Langford-Doan expedition to Yellowstone in Wyoming. A lot of things happening in Wyoming in September. All right. More Franco-Prussian War stuff. Capture of Rome. What happened to this? Capture of Rome, September 20th, 1870. The final event of a long process of Italian unification also known as the Risorgimento, marking both the final defeat of the Papal States under Pope Pius IX and the unification of the Italian peninsula under King Victor Emmanuel II. How about that for some fun facts today? I would just hashtag that today as fun facts. So, apparently, Italy itself was not completely unified as one country, as one republic, as one country. And Rome has been a city-state for all those years that prohibited for the rest of the country to be under one umbrella, so to speak. Okay, cool. Interesting notes. The Papal States, state of the church in the Italian peninsula. All right, cool. October to December. Let's finish this off. What happened? Okay, this is a word I've never heard of. A referendum called the plebiscite, the direct vote by the electoral on a particular proposal or issue, held in Rome, supports that 133,000 plus votes to 1,000 plus votes to an annexation of the city by Italy. So October 2nd is when they finally annexed Rome into Italy's society. Rome becomes the capital of unified Italy 4 days later, October 6th, 1870. And what's this? Leon Gambetta escapes besieged Paris in a hot air balloon. How about that? So not only can you enjoy, he's a French lawyer, not only can you enjoy hot air balloon rides to look at your beautiful countryside wherever you live, but you can also escape prison. How about that? Who is this guy? Leon Gambetta. He's a French lawyer, a Republican politician who proclaimed the French Third Republic in 1870 and played a prominent role in its early government. So apparently Paris was under siege and escaped in a hot air balloon. How about that? Great story. Okay, back to Rome. 1st October 20th, First Vatican Council adjourns. Back to China. Leaders of June's Tianjin Massacre of foreigners are executed by the Chinese imperial government. So that's when it was okay to be, in the government's eyes, to be a Christian in China. How about that? Interesting. More Franco-Prussian War news. The United States, November 1st, newly created Weather Bureau. Later is named the National Weather Service. It makes its first official meteorological forecast. High winds at Chicago and Milwaukee and along the lakes. How about that? Bam. That's supposed to be my little my radio news broadcast sound effects. Morse code, so to speak. There you go. November 1st, National Weather Center was born. November 12th, Dresdner Bank is found in Germany. The rival to the Deutsche Bank, maybe. November 16th, the Spanish Cortes Generales proclaims Amadeo de Saboya as king Amadeo I of Spain. I didn't realize that kings in Spain were still a thing during that time. It looks like he had a 3-year reign. And in December, let's finish this off. South Carolina becomes the second black Oh, here's another black history. Here we go. Do you guys know about Joseph Hayne Rainey. Anybody know about him? Well, let's read. He was an American politician and was the first black person to serve in the United States House of Representatives and the second black person to serve in the U.S. Congress. His service included time as presiding officer of the House of whatever. We didn't finish that. So he is of South Carolina. Thomas Hayne Rainey, or Joseph H. Rainey. Joseph H. Rainey of South Carolina becomes the second black U.S. congressman, followed by Hiram Rhodes Revels in February. Wait, was that even mentioned in this year? Let's look back. I'm sorry, let's go back. There it is. Hiram Rhodes Revels was an American politician, minister in the African Methodist Episcopal Church, and a college administrator, born free in North Carolina, and he later lived and worked in Ohio, where he voted before the Civil War, elected by the Mississippi legislature, and sworn in the United States Senate, became the first African American to sit in U.S. Congress. That's February 25th. And then back in December 12th, 1870, Joseph H. Rainey was the second person of South Carolina. Pretty significant to be in Congress, House of Representatives specifically. And Juan Prim, Prime Minister of Spain, was shot, leaving Cortez, is shot by an unknown assassins on leaving the Cortez, dying 2 days later. Juan Prim, first Count of Rus, first Marquis of Los Castillos, first Viscount of Bruch, was a Spanish general and statesman who was briefly Prime Minister of Spain until his assassination. So he was assassinated, shot in 28, and died 2 days later. And then finally, the last day of 1870, Sir Henry Berkeley appointed governor. Sir Henry Berkeley, a British politician, colonial governor, and patron of the sciences, was appointed governor of the Cape of Good Hope and High Commissioner of Southern Africa. It was a British colony at one point in South Africa. Interesting. So a lot of stories, a lot of history, a lot of things going on in every continent in 1870. We got kind of like a dose of it. Of course, the books cannot contain all of history of what happened in the whole day of the whole year of 1870, but here's just like one of those brief things that you kind of overlook. Got a births that happen. Okay, not that we're, Ooh, guess who was born in 1870? Vladimir Lenin. What? Man, all these interesting people, interesting historical events in 1870, which is the last 4 digits of this phone number you can call right now. 716-253-1870. Vladimir Lenin was born. No, he wasn't born. Wait a minute. Yeah, that was his birth date. Okay, let's just read what he was. Vladimir Ilyich Yanov, better known as Lenin, not John Lennon, as in the Beatles. He's a Russian revolutionary politician and political theorist. He served as the first and founding head of the government of Soviet Russia from 1917 to 1924, and of the Soviet Union from 1922 to 1924. So you have Soviet Russia, Soviet Union. The premier of the Soviet Union. Huh. Interesting. We also have American film director Edwin Porter. Was born. Died in 1941. Edison Manufacturing Company and the Famous Players Film Company. 250 films. Pretty interesting content. There's so many other things we can just discuss today. I don't want to make this a long podcast. I do want to just reiterate, though, that we have a call line, text line. Leave a message, 716-253-1870, which is what we're talking about today. We're just going through Wikipedia, a primary source of information, which, of course, I'm joking. 1870. Wikipedia is a good little place to kind of look up stuff. But if you notice, if you look at Wikipedia and you notice all these different marks here, I'll show you. Like these little marks that's next to, see that? That's the source. These are the sources of the information for Wikipedia. That's what you want to look at. You want to look at a primary source of information from Wikipedia. You look at this, or scroll down all the way to the end, very end. Here are your references. That's what you want to look at. This is what you want to look up. Okay, it has ISBN numbers. You have links to websites or encyclopedias. These are your primary sources. Okay, so for those people who are in college and you don't know, now you know. Wikipedia is a good place to get a general idea or information from things, but it's not your primary source. And people can edit this, and people that lean a certain way, my hair looks nice. People that lean a certain way politically could also be editing this to bend certain information about certain people, labeling people the way they see it versus how the collective sees a person. Let me give you an example. I'm going to look up somebody who's been controversial over the years and has been deplatformed. I love just sometimes listening to some of his content. Alex Jones is a far right. Look at this. They even have a Wikipedia, they have a Wikipedia entrance for far right politics. Okay, and they have like 7 different sources saying Alex Jones is a far right. All right, so some of these sources are saying he's a far right radio show host. Okay, conspiracy theorist. Okay, is he a conspiracy theorist or is he just a commentator and formulates some theories? But he's not a conspiracy theorist, not my opinion. Now, he does come up with some radical ideas, but this is definitely the perspective of a left, far left, alt left, or whatever you want to call it, person editing these entries. Okay, that's how they'll describe it. Somebody who's considered far right wouldn't describe him in such a way. So he was born in Dallas, Texas, 74, 48 years old. Okay, so I'm just giving you an idea, an example. I'm not promoting Alex Jones. I'm just promoting the fact that when you watch or look at Wikipedia and you're looking up information for content for your research or papers or what have you, don't take Wikipedia and quote that as fact or whatever, primary information on a topic. Make sure you just use that as your guide to finding more information. Do the research. Do your research correctly. All right. So today is Fun Facts by Shawn P. Greene on the Shawn P. Greene Show. Remember, you can call. You can go to a Facebook page. You go to ShawnPGreene.com. You go to podcasts. Watch the stuff. Shawn P. Greene Show. I tried to call my dad. I'm going to call him one more time. Let's call him one more time. He didn't answer the first time. Sometimes he has breathing problems, so he's not doing too well. If he's not available, he's not available.
Three, 5, 2.
Okay. All right. So not available. Normally he'll take my call, but maybe he just thinks that, the Google Voice number is not my number. So, all right. Anyways, Gregorian calendar. Were we going to get into that? You know that the Gregorian, the Julian calendar, all these calendars are not in sync. They have Chinese has a calendar. Hebrews have a calendar. Muslims, different, sects of Christianity. Everybody has different calendars. Everybody does their own thing. Nobody's in sync in this world. This whole world is out of sync, which is why we have leaders trying to attack other countries, because they feel that they're not in sync with their agenda, so they're trying to overtake another country to keep them in sync with their agenda, and so on and so forth. So I got nothing else, guys. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. That's the Facebook page. I'm sure I got a bunch of messages for the show. The Shawn P. Greene Show is what you'll find me on Facebook. Click the page and like it. Just like me. Like me, please. Like me. I'm not insecure. I don't need followers. But I'm asking you to follow because I want you to be part of this conversation over time. Okay? Keep it locked, ShawnPGreene.com.